Hello lads, ladies, gents, ladetts, whoever, whatever, welcome back to another video. As it should be pretty obvious by this point, I am a big fan of puzzles and puzzle games, so it should come as no surprise as to why I wanted to check out today's game, Gentoo Rescue. I'm checking out the publicly available demo, so if you like how it looks, go into the description and try it yourself. Also, please note the footage I've used is slightly out of date, solely because I know the developer has added in new visual effects and a couple other nice little touches. However, for the most part, the core gameplay loop is still the same. Gentoo on paper seems nothing more than a simple sliding puzzle with cute penguins, and although on paper you could easily describe it like that, I wouldn't say it does the game any real justice. The concept might be simple, but don't let that fool you, as it can definitely test your brain power. It also ramps up in complexity, adding in new obstacles to deal with, like the walruses, rockets, collapsing floor tiles, and many others. There's way more that is coming in the full release, but that's just a taste of what's going on in the demo. The core loop sees you typically trying to lead a penguin to a goal, eventually getting to a point where you have multiple penguins that are all color-coded, aiming for specific goals matching their specific color. Mechanically, the game does start off relatively simple, having you only slide around and nothing more. But as you continue, more and more mechanics get added, and you can see how it really starts to elevate the overall puzzle structure. In most cases, a lot of the puzzles will typically only have a single solution, but that isn't a downside. There is a very straightforward logic that is behind these puzzles, and it's always within your grasp to figure out. Don't get me wrong, I did find myself getting stuck from time to time, but I never really found it impossible to figure things out. It always felt like I was getting closer to the solution rather than further away. The pacing of the puzzles as well is also really nice, because even though yes, you can get stuck, for the most part, you're going to be flowing from one to the next really quick, making the game have a really good sense of progression. The demo itself will see you playing for roughly 30 minutes or so, depending on your puzzle solving abilities. However, it does give us enough of a look at the game's presentation to see what the game has going on. And sure, it might seem simple, but don't let that fool you, because the game doesn't want to feel busy, it just wants to get its point across. Visually, it's not what I would describe as a powerhouse. It's not trying to be. The game itself has a lot of charm thanks to its very specific style when it comes to the graphics. With a focus on bright colors and simple animations, Gentoo Rescue does a great job of getting across how cute the penguins are. Furthermore, the game's soundtrack aims to keep things calm and relaxing while you start to lose your mind solving the level. You'll also notice that the penguins absolutely fly across the screen, which is fantastic because if it took a long time to move, it would really hurt the game's pacing. The mix of the presentation and speed of the animations really drive home how addictive this game can become, because if you're finding yourself getting stuck, you never feel like you're wasting your time because the solution is just around the corner, which is honestly a big sin a lot of puzzle games commit. Too many times am I stuck waiting around in other puzzle games waiting for basic things to happen when I'm fully prepared to make my next move. Thankfully, due to this, the developer, Jagriff, who I apologize for probably butchering your name, has made it so the game doesn't require timed inputs, relying solely on logic. Speaking of the developer, I decided to ask them some questions, like firstly, what inspired Gentoo Rescue in the first place? To which they replied, the main two inspirations are Ricochet Robots, a board game, and Bubba Is You. In which after hearing that, I can definitely see it. They went on further to state, I was also inspired to learn a game engine and get into game development for a potential future project. I also asked if there were any future plans for Gentoo Rescue after initial release, and they let me know. They have some ideas for a potential sequel or even DLC. It is worth noting though that some of these might not happen, as those ideas could be used for other projects. So it's best to keep an eye out on Jagriff's social media, which will be linked in the description below, to see what is happening. They are also hoping to add in content sharing, so user-made levels are possible, and a puzzle rush mode. Though both of these might not be there at launch, but hopefully will come down the line. Overall, if you're a big fan of puzzle games or are looking for something cute and colourful, Gentoo Rescue might just be the game for you. It's a simple premise, but it is more than the sum of its parts. It's a game that gradually gets more difficult, but it raises your abilities to solve puzzles at the same time. The game itself will have over 300 puzzles, and that's even after deleting a whole bunch because the developer was like, these aren't that great. It's definitely a passion project, and I'm very excited to see the full release. The game plans to launch in April, so there is no better time to check out the demo than now. Link in the description below. So with that, lads, ladies, gents, ladetts, whoever, whatever, it brings us to the end of another video. I hope you enjoyed this look at Gentoo Rescue, and I sincerely do hope you try it out for yourself. Again, on paper it seems very simple, but in reality it is way better than you would expect. Also, sorry if my voice sounded a little bit funny during this voiceover, because I've just had a bit of phlegm on the chest that just doesn't seem to want to go away this morning while I'm recording this. It is what it is. Please don't bully me too harshly for it. But with that, if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like. If you want to go that extra step, you can hit the subscribe button. And if you want to go that extra mile, you can support me on Ko-fi, Patreon, or YouTube memberships like these lovely people here. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay safe out there. Bye.